This is a horrific story done in the morning call on Paterson, New Jersey, Tuesday morning, April 15th. This appeared. An Italian man was put in a coffin and woke up. Now, this would scare anybody, but he went on a rampage. Can you imagine? His wife thinks he's dead. I mean, he's in a coffin. He goes to her home and creates absolute havoc in the house, including severely injuring an 8-month-old daughter of his. He smashed furniture at his home, gave his wife a severe beating, and held 4 strong men and making his escape. If any proof was ever needed that the transition from death to life of Alexander Scarletta at the county jail on Sunday was genuine, and the Italian was an earthly and not an astral body, the proof was forthcoming Wednesday when he made a grandstand finish and shook the dust of Paterson to his feet. Before departing, the demented man administered a severe beating to his wife, and it is not known where he is, but it's likely that he's dropped off at Tuxedo or some other town in New York. The Italian's actions yesterday confirmed the diagnosis of physicians that he was not of sound mind. He was out walking with his wife on the street before he attacked her and had talked about what he called the attempt to bury him alive. Since he came to the city a week or 2 ago, he and his family, consisting of a wife and 2 children, have been living in the big tenement house on Bird Street. Yesterday morning, he asked his wife to accompany him down to downtown. She said yes, and they walked about until 10 o'clock. He met several acquaintances on the street to whom he told, in a rambling sort of way, the efforts the spirits are making to catch him. The spirits, he said, persuaded him the night and day that he was having a hard time dodging them. When he returned to his apartment, he proceeded to smash chairs, tables, articles of furniture, and before she could make her escape, he directed his attention toward her, where he desisted the woman and was almost weakened to a state of insensibility. The women's screams had attracted the attention of the neighbors and 4 able-bodied men to her assistance. They tried to detain him, but he had superhuman strength. The next I heard of the fellow was Ellison Street, where he appeared early in the afternoon at the home of Angelo DeMorio. When he entered, his 8-month-old baby was sitting on the floor in the kitchen. Seeing the child, he held it in the air and pressed his fingers against his throat. He was torn from the crazed guy's wraps, but before anybody could do anything to steer clear of him, the man disappeared. The final stage of his career, so far as the city was concerned, was enacting at the Eric Depot. The man hung about the depot platform, and it was noticed later that he allowed 3 local trains bound west to pass him. At 2:20 o'clock, the Buffalo Express pulled in at the depot, and just as it was moving out, he made a flying leap and landed safely on the platform steps. He entered the vestibule doors and was next to the view of those in the station walk. The DeMario child was in precarious condition last evening and was feared by a physician who had been called, and the choking could prove fatal. The data of her husband and the latter, in turn, notified the police. She was unaware of her husband's departure from the city until she had called at the undertaker's office. She's about 22 years old. Her face bore the marks of his cruel treatment to which he had been subjected, there being numerous cuts and discolorations. It would have been better for all concerned if Fidelio had been allowed to remain under surveillance, but the experience of Sunday was sufficient. The authorities sought to earn his release. It was 8 o'clock Sunday morning when he was pronounced dead, and we're 2 hours later that they undertaker arrived to pick him up. Short time later, he put a sheet over the Italian's face, and it was when it was removed that it was described as yesterday's terror. Now, so this man, they didn't have the medical knowledge that they do nowadays, but this man apparently had the appearance of being dead. He had gone to the home and beaten his wife, went to Buffalo on an express train, and he ended up dying anyways. So that was a very, very interesting story.